A $50 gift card, good to use at no reservations in Galloway for just $25.
Get this great deal starting Friday at 9 a.m. at seizethedeal.com. Hurry, chances are this deal will sell quickly. For more info on this great deal, go to seizethedeal.com.
seizethedeal.com.
When you hear this,
they've got him again,
and this,
he scored,
and this,
oh boy, what a move by Embiid!
You think of us. We are sports. 97.3 ESPN, WENJ, WENJ HD, Millville, Atlantic City, a Town Square media station. This is Game Night with Josh Hennig on 97.3 ESPN and the free mobile app. Now, live from the Matt Black Kia Studios.
What a move!
Here's Josh Hennig.
Wednesday edition of Game Night on 97.3 ESPN, the day after the Phillies failed the city of Philadelphia. We'll get into the Phillies ending the NLCS in the worst possible way. Plus, we will talk about some Eagles football because the Eagles apparently are the only good thing in town. Well, maybe not. The Flyers are at least a competitive hockey team. You know, after watching the Phillies game last night, if you had 97.3 ESPN on, you heard the Flyers game come on. And for 2 periods, the Flyers were beating the best team in hockey. And then the best team in hockey finally found their way back and beat the Flyers. But, yeah, the Phillies game, we'll get into that. Eagles this hour as well, 609-403-0973. It's a Weinberg Wednesday. Dave Weinberg will join me coming up in less than 20 minutes from now. Plus, we will have the final keyword of the day. So, for those who have not qualified yet, you have one more opportunity this hour. I will give you the keyword in just a moment. Hold on to that keyword, and then when I tell you to text in, you will have a chance to qualify with that keyword. When you send in your name and where you're from, you will have a chance to qualify to win Eagles 49ers club box seats. Plus, you will get to go to the world famous Philly Sports Trips tailgate extravaganza that will have former players in attendance, tons of food, tons of drink. The tailgate prize is almost better than the game prize itself. It's such an amazing prize that we're giving away that I told Mike Gill on the Sports Bash, I wish I could go to all this festivity. I mean, this is incredible. So the key word this hour, the key word that you hang on to the end of the hour is Swift, as in DeAndre Swift. When I tell you to text in later, that's the key word this hour. This is the final opportunity for you to qualify for the Eagles 49ers tickets and tailgate giveaway. All right. Let's get into the Phillies here because I called it they failed. You know, anyone who's ever watched the show Arrow remembers the vigilante used to say, "You have failed this city." Well, the Philadelphia Phillies did the same thing. They failed the city of Philadelphia. They failed the organization. In games 6 and 7, you came back home with a 3-2 series lead. And your offense was 2 for 17 with runners in scoring position. The only RBI gained in those games were by Bohm, Stott, and Marsh. This team struck out 21 times in games 6 and 7. And in games 6 and 7, Harper, Turner, and Schwarber combined to go 1 for 20 at bats. It is utterly embarrassing and unacceptable that this organization, this team came back and completely fell on their face. Look, we already knew that Arizona was a good baseball team, all right? They were undefeated in the postseason. You should have been able, with a 3-2 series lead, to come back to Philadelphia, win game 6, close the deal, punch your ticket back to the World Series. But instead, you played around with your food and you got bit, and now you're going home crying about how you played with your food and you got bit. 60 strikeouts in 7 games against the Diamondbacks. I don't care about Kimbrel. I don't care about the bullpen. I don't care about Rob Thompson. It's all negligible. We were told multiple times over the last couple of years that they built this team to out-hit their problems. This was a team that they have spent hundreds of millions of dollars to bring in Harper, to bring in Turner, to bring in Schwarber, to bring in Castellanos. They traded away high-level prospects to get JT Realmuto. And as we sit here today, all of those guys came up grotesquely small. And the problem with the Phillies is there's no clear answer how to fix this. It's not like there's a couple guys who you can get rid of in free agency or you can dump their contracts or something like that. This is a situation where there's not a lot of areas that you can fix. I mean, do you trade Nick Castellanos? Is they going to even want that guy in a trade? We know Hoskins isn't the answer because Hoskins' defense is as good as mine. Rhys Hoskins is probably the worst defensive player on the Phillies roster. And we need Kyle Schwarber to be the DH so we have enough defense in the outfield. The reason why Rojas is here and playing is because Rojas is the guy who makes up for the problems for the rest of the team defensively. This offense completely and utterly failed. And unless you're willing to go drastically in a different direction offensively, you got to just tweak around the edges. You got to do a little bit here, a little bit there. You got to work around the edges. Because as this team is currently constructed, you are committed long term to Harper and Turner. Bohm actually did his job last night. Stott actually did his job in this series. You had 2 games where the offense showed up. And then in game 5, Zach Wheeler pitched the lights out. He closed out Chase Field. And then the offense came home. And they're 2 for 17 with runners in scoring position. Now, look, I understand for a lot of people out there, the bullpen is a concern. You know, I haven't seen enough from Kerkering to look at him as anything more than just a part of the team next year. Kimbrel is obviously not going to be back next year. Do you address the bullpen? Maybe, you know, I know guys like Josh Hader, Will Smith, Liam Hendricks, those guys are out there. But how much money are you going to spend on those guys? Do you bring back Hoskins? Do you bring back Aaron Nola? How do you decipher what to do with this team moving forward? Man, Dave Dombrowski has a very unenvious task ahead of him. And now, if you're a Phillies fan, you're going in the next season and you're asking the question, unless you make some serious upgrades to this team, why should I show up for the 162? It's already been proven that the Major League regular season is the most devalued of all the professional sports. Winning 100-plus games in Major League Baseball means less than anything else in sports because it's almost a guarantee you won't win a World Series if you win over 100 games in today's Major League Baseball. Because today's Major League Baseball is not about how many games you win during the season. It's about how your team is built for the postseason. And remember, this is the Phillies organization that invested a ton of assets back in 2010 and 2011 in their pitching staff. Didn't work out. Now this team has invested a ton of money into hitting. Hasn't worked out. It really feels like this team is in a no-win situation. And you know what? Maybe we need to let the situation play out. But as of right here, right now, Phillies are a problem. 609-403-0973. Diamondback Derek chimes in and says, Josh, they were beat twice by Brandon Pfaadt, a rookie that has never been in that situation like that. 2 rookies pitched last night, and they were untouchable. Diamondbacks pitching is the reason why they won. Listen, first of all, Diamondback Derek, I appreciate your loyalty to your team. I appreciate how much you text. I appreciate the fact that you are absolutely, utterly relentless with all this stuff. But I tend to believe that when you have a rookie pitcher against a future Hall of Famer in Bryce Harper, when you have a rookie pitcher against a guy in Kyle Schwarber who is breaking baseball records for postseason home runs, when you have a rookie pitcher against a guy who has a world championship in Trey Turner, who has played in more playoff games than anybody else on either team in this series, has Trey Turner. When you have an all-star, Nick Castellanos, a supposedly best catcher in baseball in JT Realmuto, I tend to think those guys should be able to do something. And they did nothing. To me, Diamondback Derek, it's nothing against the Diamondbacks. Good luck to you in the World Series. But I'm telling you right now, the Phillies failed. They choked. They didn't get the job done. They let a bunch of kids come into their house and beat them. The Phillies got punked in their own house by a bunch of children. I mean, Corbin Carroll, how old is he? Like 22 years old? Thought looks like he hasn't barely shaved at all. These guys look like they look young. They're not just literally young. By the way, how about Marte? This kid, Mattel, this kid, he has not hit in a game in the postseason. And yet Bryce Harper, Schwarber, Turner, Realmuto, Castellanos, they did nothing, nada. The only guy who got a big hit off of Pfaadt last night was Alec Bohm. And Alec Bohm was the 3rd overall pick in the draft about 5 years ago? Come on. Dan EHT chimes in and says, he says the baseball gods prevented the Phillies from winning no-hit balls for the Phillies last night. That's what you get when Harper stares down the Diamondbacks dugout in Game 5 when he hits a home run. He gave a thumbs down to the crowd when he crossed the plate. I don't think Harry Callis appreciates the players trying to replace. Okay. Dan, I appreciate that you're a fan, but you sound ridiculous. First of all, there's no baseball gods punishing the Phillies, okay? Harper is allowed to do whatever he wants after a home run, okay? Just like I don't have a problem with guys doing anything after home runs, okay? If Corbin Carroll hit a grand slam last night, chucked that bat to the sky, pumped his, pounded his chest, and did the X-Pac, DMX revolution last night from WWF, I would have been fine with it, okay? You hit a big home run, you have a big moment, you're allowed to do whatever you want, all right? You earned that opportunity by hitting the blast. Hitting a baseball is the hardest thing to do in all of sports. So if the Diamondbacks did that, I wouldn't care. One more from Josh and Kate May says, how do you see a guy like Josh Hader fitting into their bullpen? Simple. You would just have 20 million left-handers and one of them would be a closer. To be more on a more serious note, Josh Kate May, I think that the reason why I bring up Hader is because for whatever reason, this team does not treat Alvarado as the closer. They treat him as break glass in case of emergency. So for whatever reason, he's not your closer in the postseason. So you need someone still to finish out the game. So, if you're bringing Alvarado in the 6th or 7th inning, someone's got to pitch the 9th. To me, if you bring in Hader, you got to get rid of Soto. Soto is the odd man out. You didn't trust him in many games this year. He didn't show you that he was trustworthy. I trust Matt Strahm, way more than Soto at this point. So if your 3 lefties next year are Hader, Alvarado, and Strahm, I'm good with that. Get rid of Soto. I don't need him. You need somebody to close the game. You need somebody aside from Alvarado that you can trust and rely on. And maybe Dominguez can still become that guy. Maybe Kerkering will eventually be one of those guys. But if you're going to let go of Kimbrel and maybe dump Soto, you got to add one more dude. And that's why I said whether it's Hader or Smith or Hendricks. I mean, personally, I don't know if any one of those guys are really the answer. I mean, Hader himself is an inconsistent pitcher. The days of the surefire closer is dead. So whoever you add in free agency, there's going to be some trepidation. Whether it's what is Hendricks after coming back from cancer? What is Hader coming to the East Coast, right? I mean, this guy pitched in Milwaukee and San Diego. Philadelphia is a completely different animal than those two cities. And then Will Smith. I mean, is Will Smith even a reliable pitcher you want in the back end of your bullpen anymore? You know, one of the things the Diamondbacks did a great job with is they found a bunch of guys who are left-handed and right-handed who can get the job done. And they rely on their guys, and the Diamondbacks trusted their guys, and they got the job done. So they deserve a lot of credit. All right, Jordan Summers Point. I see your text. I'll get to you guys and more coming up. Still, Dave Weinberg, our 97.3 ESPN sports columnist, joins me next here on Game Night on 97.3 ESPN FM and a 97.3 ESPN mobile app powered by First Bank of Seattle.
Wake up weekday mornings from 6 to 10 on 97.3 ESPN with Unsportsmanlike with Evan Cohen, Super Bowl champion Chris Canty, and Michelle Smallman.
I just think the Eagles are the team to beat in the NFC, and they added an all-pro safety in Kevin Byard. Now, is he what he was a few years ago? No. But is he better than Terrell Edmonds? Hell yes. And now pairing him with Reed Blankenship, I feel a lot better about the back end of that defense. They already got Big Play Slay and James Bradbury on the corners. They're fine at that spot. But having somebody on the back end of that defense, the last line of defense, and the key communicator when it comes to the secondary, making sure you don't have blown coverages and leave guys wide open, I think that's going to be huge in terms of leadership for a group in that back end. So I love the addition of Kevin Byard. I think this makes the Eagles the prohibitive favorite in the NFC to go to the Super Bowl.
Brought to you by the Gallery Bar Book and Games at Ocean Casino Resort in Atlantic City.
Oh, yeah, it's on at Matt Blatt Nissan.
You're currently stuck in a loaner lease. AJ, the trade man, can get you released. MattBlattNissan.com. It's on at Matt Blatt Nissan on the Black Horse Pike, Egg Harbor Township.
Your palace awaits. Caesars Palace Online Casino is now live. Download today and register using code RADIOLAUNCH. New users get a $10 sign-up bonus, a 100% deposit match up to $1,000, and 2,500 reward credits after wagering $25. Must be 21 and physically present in New Jersey, Pennsylvania, or West Virginia. Minimum wagering within 7 days required to unlock bonuses. Full terms and wagering requirements at CaesarsPalaceOnline.com/promos. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. In West Virginia, all games regulated by the West Virginia Lottery. Please play responsibly.
I've been taking Nutrafol for about a year.
I've been taking Nutrafol just over 4.5 years.
My hair was thinning.
I just gave birth. I was under a lot of stress.
I like Nutrafol because it's drug-free and the #1 dermatologist recommended hair growth supplement.
My hair feels thicker,
stronger.
The breakage is less.
Nutrafol has taken me back to the hair I was meant to have.
Join the 1 million people growing at Nutrafol.com. That's Nutrafol.com.
O'Reilly. It's See Better, Drive Safer month at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Replace your worn-out wiper blades and get up to a $20 O'Reilly gift card after rebate when you purchase a pair of select wiper blades. See store for details. Our professional parts people will even install your new wiper blades for free. Stop by your O'Reilly Auto Parts store or O'ReillyAuto.com.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
What's for dinner? Burgers?
After last week, no thanks.
Avoiding foods due to fear of diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose, oily stools? It may not be just stomach issues. It could be EPI, or exocrine pancreatic insufficiency. EPI can cause uncomfortable symptoms because it's a condition where the pancreas doesn't release enough digestive enzymes to break down food. But EPI can be managed. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and talk to your doctor about your symptoms. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
With GMF financing, qualified buyers excludes Corvette, excludes prior sales.
Everybody knows there's no beating Bennett, and right now we're kicking off our end-of-year sell-down early with our best deals of the year. While most dealers are selling new vehicles at or above MSRP, Bennett's selling new Chevys at GM supplier employee prices. Yes, you pay what our supplier employees pay, not 1 penny more. Save even more with available 0% financing. And during our year-end sale, get our best offers ever on pre-owned vehicles. We'll pay a minimum $10,000 for any trade. Any trade. We don't care if it's got 1 million miles or 1 million dents. You still get a minimum $10,000 towards any pre-owned in stock. Imagine how much more you'll get if it's in good shape. And our non-commissioned sales staff is a delight to work with because they're paid on your satisfaction, not how much you spend. No need to negotiate, no hassles, no haggling. Find new roads at Bennett Chevrolet in Egg Harbor Township and BennettChevy.com.
The Chase Ink Business Premier Card is made for people who make things happen, like me. I'm Sam, founder and CEO of Manifest, a product design company that makes everyday products designed smarter. I get 2.5% cash back on purchases of $5,000 or more, plus unlimited 2% cash back on all other purchases, which helps us make more smart ideas into a brilliant reality.
The Ink Business Premier Card. Learn more at chase.com/business premier. Chase for business. Make more of what's yours. Real business owner compensated for their participation. Account subject to credit approval. Restrictions and limitations apply. Cards are issued by JPMorgan Chase Bank. Any member FDIC.
The pandemic is over, but COVID-19 is here to stay. In fact, it's still among the top 5 leading causes of death in the U.S., just after heart disease and cancer. So this fall, stay up to date with the latest COVID-19 vaccines, just like you do with the flu, because you've got no time for 19. The vaccine may not be for everyone. Please consult with your doctor. Brought to you by Moderna.
Now's the time to get your place ready for company with up to 40% off select online baths at the Home Depot, because the holidays are coming to town. And so are your friends, your family, and their friends and family. So let the Home Depot help get your bathroom guest ready with the Tabana Vanity and the matte black Oswell faucet from Glacier Bay. For more storage and a new modern look, refresh your space with up to 40% off select online baths. Plus, get free delivery on all online vanities and faucets from the Home Depot. How doers get more done.
Does your roof or siding need replacement? Score a touchdown with Frank Vincent Windows and Roofing, the trusted name in home improvements for more than 60 years. Call Frank Vincent today at 609-641-2389 or visit frankvincentwindowsandroofing.com for a free estimate. That's frankvincentwindowsandroofing.com.
Frank Vincent Windows, Siding and Roofing, and make your home look new again.
You're listening to Game Night with Josh Hennig on 97.3 ESPN and the free mobile app.
We'll get back to the plethora of text messages coming in. Jeff in Ocean City, George in Summers Point. I'll get to you guys and more coming up at 609-403-0973. But right now, joining us for another Weinberg Wednesday, Dave Weinberg is back. Of course, Extra Point columns over at 97.3ESPN.com. He joins me right now on Game Night on 97.3 ESPN. Dave, welcome back. How you doing today?
Doing well, Josh. How are you?
I'm doing all right. I'm finally calming down from my rage against the Phillies for failing in Philadelphia last night.
Yeah, I can certainly understand that. That was disgraceful.
I just don't understand how you have a 3-2 series lead. You come home to Philadelphia where you've been undefeated in the postseason, Dave. And Harper, Turner, and Schwarber combined to go 1 for 20 in game 7. Like, you're talking about, I mean, what is that? $700 million invested in those 3 guys combined. And I can't be mad at anyone else. I can't be mad at Thompson. I can't be mad at anyone else on this team, because it's like you paid these guys this ridiculous amount of money and they did nothing.
You can throw Castellanos in there too, I guess. Yeah.
It's $800 million. We'll make it $800 million. Yeah.
Yeah. Just a big fat nothing burger when it counted the most.
Throw in Real Muto. We'll make it $1 billion.
Yeah. I mean, I don't want to, you can blame everybody really. I mean, Thompson had a hand in it, the pitching staff, whatever, but bottom line is the big bats didn't come through. The big players did not deliver the way they're supposed to. And it was just a glaring lack of power or a lack of production. It was embarrassing, quite frankly.
I mean, for me, I just think I can't get out of my head, Dave, the fact that, we have been told by the organization, okay, not me, not you, not the listeners, Dave Dombrowski, Sam Fold, right? The organization has told us, we are going to out hit our problems. Remember them saying that? I
Yep,
remember them saying
absolutely.
that.
Yes, I
So
do.
well, you did not hit this problem. You didn't hit it all. The only guy who
No.
got a hit last night was Bohm and Stott, the two youngest guys in the lineup.
No, I think Schwarber have a double. I don't remember. No.
Was
that last? Or was that game 6? I don't know.
That was The point is that they didn't do anything.
No,
you're
they
too.
didn't. And yeah, it was a joke. I mean, yeah, did the hitting carry them that far? Yes, it did. I mean, that's the reason they got as far as they did. But you got to be able to do other stuff. I mean, you can't just live and die by the home run all the time. You got to be able to move runners. You got to be able to steal bases the way the Diamondbacks, 8 steals in 2 games. I mean, that's just ridiculous with a catcher like JT Realmuto. Couldn't the pitchers hold them on a little bit? I mean, it was just, and even when they picked what's his name off, he still stole second. The leadoff hitter. Well, he was the leadoff hitter a couple games. That was another thing. I thought that Laveau did a great job of tinkering with his lineup, mixing and matching a little bit. Thompson did nothing. He just sat on his hands, and I'm just going to fill out this lineup card the same way I've been filling it out for 162 games and the playoffs. It was stupid.
Well, the only reason why I didn't mind Thompson making a change. Now I would preface by saying I did want them to make a change last night, but they didn't. But the only reason why I'm okay with it is because to me there was a message being sent, Dave, and that was the Phillies were telling their guys, "This is on you. This is on you, billion-dollar players to get the job done." Harper, you're going to the Hall of Fame one day. Schwarber, you're setting all these postseason home run records. Trey Turner, we paid you, what was it, $330 million. Nick Castellanos, you have your son running around the ballpark like we're his daycare around this place. And it's like, why don't you guys do something? Do something for us. Why don't we have to help you to do your job?
Yeah, we had that. We heard all through the postseason. Oh, the citizens bedlam at the bank, and everybody's gonna, no team stands a chance in this atmosphere. Nobody can, deal with our fans and with everything else. And that was just a big fat nothing too. I mean, Diamondbacks weren't phased in the least. I mean, and it came down to it ultimately comes down to the fans. It's great to have that atmosphere, to have the cheering and the yelling and everything, but if you can't hit, it doesn't really matter what the fans are doing, and they didn't hit at all.
No, they didn't. And I was saying before you came on, Dave, I don't even know how to fix this problem. How do you fix
can't?
it?
Yeah, you gotta marry. You're kind of married to these guys. I mean,
right? You're stuck with all these contracts.
Yeah. Right, and you got the magical Kevin Long hitting coach. Where was he for the last 2 games?
Right. Yeah, when the Phillies were 2 for 17 with runners in scoring position, where was Kevin Long?
Right, I didn't see him interviewed by the TBS crew.
By the way, can I just say really quick, because you and I can have honest conversations, Dave. Dave Weinberg joining us for a Weinberg Wednesday here on GameNight on 97.3 ESPN. If I never have to hear the TBS broadcast a baseball game ever again, I will be okay. I thought that Brian Anderson and Jeff Francoeur were like the equivalent of like the D team for like NFL. Like I thought they did nothing for me. The only reason why it was tolerable was because Darling was put on the series for the NLCS. They got to do. Francoeur, first of all, is biased, and he just doesn't like certain players, certain teams. It's so obvious. Brian Anderson, he has as much excitement in him as a child who's sleeping. I mean, these guys, I was literally not watching the game on audio. I would put the baseball game on the radio because Boog Sciambi, who is a baseball diehard, by the way, and Doug Glanville were calling the games. I was much happier listening to them.
Yeah,
I mean, Glanville's giving you legitimate insights. I mean, Francoeur, that guy's a waste.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you there. I mean, I didn't really pay that all much attention. I kind of like the production of it a little bit. I do like the in-game interviews. Between, I guess it's supposed to be, I guess they do them between innings, but then show them during the game, manager, pitching coach, what have you. I kind of like that. I like the camera angles, the the cameras on the bases. You
Right.
see the guys, stealing and stuff. That's pretty cool. But yeah, as far as announcing, I could take him or leave him. I really didn't get much out of the play-by-play or color guys at all.
I mean, you're telling me that TBS couldn't have asked Bob Costas to come out and do the
Yeah.
games? I mean, for goodness
That'd
sake.
be cool. Yep. Even put Doug Lamble on TV. Yeah. I mean, he's a pretty good analyst. Like you said, some of those guys give you real insight. Some of the guys give you nothing, and those guys were pretty dry and pretty boring, quite frankly.
Like what I liked was the TBS post game set.
Mm-hmm.
Because I felt that, I mean, between Jimmy Rollins, Pedro Martinez, Curtis Granderson, and Mark DeRosa, they were giving you great stuff after the game.
They were good. They were good. And I always
mean,
go after games. I always flip over to Comcast Sportsnet
Right.
to listen to those guys. Michael Barkan. I couldn't. I don't care much for, but the other guys were pretty good. I do like Ricky Batalico and Ben Davis and. They had Ruben Amaro Jr., he's
Right.
you can take him or leave him, but I was kind of interested to get like the Phillies point of view after the games. I did listen to the TBS stuff for a little while, but I always switched over to them to see what they had to say. They weren't happy either.
I would have just let the TBS guys call the game. Let the guys in the studio call the game. Why don't you save yourself some money,
Yeah, it wouldn't be wrong. Yeah, that wouldn't be a bad idea, honestly.
Because the thing is, I think Pedro is an incredibly underrated analyst when it comes to baseball. That dude's a baseball savant. Like, he just says stuff, and you're like, why didn't I think of that?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And then it's funny you mentioned the Phillies. You know what? I like Ruben Amaro more as an analyst than I did as a GM. So,
yeah. Well, it's kind of tough not to.
Well, Ruben Amaro. The problem with Ruben Amaro, and I would tell this to him to his face. I don't care. The problem with Ruben was that I felt like he was part of the organization's philosophy. It might not have been all his fault, but the organization's philosophy. They hung on to their star players too long. They waited way too long to hit the reset button.
No question. Yep. Like Howard, Utley, Rollins. Yeah, those guys they waited a year or maybe even too long to turn the page. And that's what kind of cost them after, these went steadily downhill from 08, 09, 10, 11. Yeah.
And that's the other crazy thing.
Earlier every time.
I'm glad you mentioned that, Dave, because, I mean, how does this Phillies team avoid that again? I mean,
yeah,
you
I
went
was
to the
just
World
thinking that. I
Series
was thinking
last
that
year.
night. Yep.
And you lose the NLCS. Are we going to lose the NLCS next year? Is that our fate?
I know. I couldn't help but think of that because of the way what happened a few years ago too. The last time they had a pretty good run there.
I mean, the only move I can think of, Dave, is you trade Castellanos. But who wants him?
Yeah, I don't see it. Right. I guess Nola's not back, right? He's done. And what do you do? I guess Hoskins is going too.
Oh, I'm done with Hoskins. Hoskins is out. He's the worst defensive player on the team.
Yeah, I couldn't understand all the. I don't mean to criticize media, but I didn't get the quotes from him yesterday. Who cares what he has to say? He didn't swing it. He didn't play a single freaking inning. He didn't swing it. He didn't swing at a pitch. He didn't feel the ground ball. I mean, why do you care what he has to say about what happened in the NLCS? I didn't get it at all.
I don't know, because he was
Maybe
there.
Some of the other guys weren't available. I don't know. But
I don't know.
It just seemed bizarre.
Yeah, nothing against Hoskins. I'm done with him. There's no place for him. To me, right. I would leave Harper at first, leave Schwarber at DH, so I actually have a legitimate outfield. Nola's tough because, I mean, can you get Nola to just sign a 3-year deal and
he's going to get big money from somebody. It's not going to be the Phillies.
Yeah, it's hard to figure out how you work around that because, if you let him go. Right.
Yeah. What do you have left? Right.
I mean, you got Ranger.
You supposed to have these he's probably got 16, 20-year-olds in the farm system that are ready.
Right. Well, the problem, the problem is you have Griff McGarry. Okay. But he wasn't good enough to come up this year. He was stuck in the minor leagues all year.
Right.
And then you had Mick Abel, who, he struggled at Double-A this year. And then Andrew Painter, who's coming off of Tommy John surgery.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't even know who actually will be playing for the team next year.
Yeah, I don't know. That's a good question. And the rotation isn't the greatest as it is, so it's going to be interesting to see what happens. Bullpen kind of definitely got exposed. Does Kimbrel come back, or is he?
I think Kimbrel's done. I think
just retires, or
I don't know if he retires. I just don't think he's in Philadelphia next year. I think
yeah.
he'll go.
It's
He'll
gonna be
go
really hard to
somewhere
bring him
else.
back.
He'll go somewhere else to pad his stats.
Yeah, yeah. It's gonna be hard to bring him back after what happened in the playoffs.
The problem with the Phillies also, Dave, is that the best bullpen pitcher available in free agency is a left-handed pitcher.
Huh?
It's Josh Hader. So, do you really want to have a bullpen that has Josh Hader and Alvarado and Soto and Strom? You have 4 lefties in a bullpen.
Yeah, that makes no sense. Yeah, you can't do that. No.
So it's like, unless you're getting rid of Soto, like, do you package Soto and Castellanos and try to send them off to somewhere? I mean, that's the only thing I can think of.
Quite honestly, Alvarado doesn't do much for me either. I mean, I know he throws hard, but I just don't. I don't think he's all that. I mean,
Well, Alvarado's the fireman. Alvarado's the guy who comes in, break glass in case of emergency, and 9 times out of 10 he's going to do the job. So
right. I got you. By the way, did you understand why they brought in Wheeler last night?
Yeah, because they thought they were trying to save the season.
Yeah, but you do. I don't know. I understand him playing or having him available, but I don't know why would you not bring him. Wait till you have a lead to bring him in. Why are you bringing him now when the game is already 4-2? I don't understand the point of that.
See, I would have brought him in right after Ranger came out of the game. I wouldn't have waited a couple guys until I got them. I would have, because I go back to, and maybe this is just me being old baseball guy, right? But like, I remember it was game 7 for the Diamondbacks and Kurt Schilling started, and then Randy Johnson came in out of the bullpen immediately. And the Diamondbacks in 2001 literally said, we are living and dying with these 2 guys, and they also remember Madison Bumgarner for the 2014 Giants. He came in the final game and pitched, what was the final 4 innings of that game? To me, if Wheeler was your guy, I would have told Zach Wheeler, the moment Ranger gets in trouble, you're coming in.
I don't know. Did you think they left Ranger in too long or not long enough?
It's hard. I mean, I feel like I can make an argument either way. So
yeah, I got you.
Dave, before I let you go, I did want to ask you about the Eagles, because the Eagles acquired the best safety since Malcolm Jenkins, acquiring Kevin Byard from the Titans, a guy from Philadelphia, 2-time first-team All-Pro. What are your thoughts on it?
Definite upgrade. I don't know that I'm ready to put him in Brian Dawkins' category quite yet, but I mean, I think I just heard a recent interview on your station where this makes them prohibitive favorites in the NFC. I'm not quite sure I'm going that far. He's definitely going to help the secondary, no question. But I don't know how. I don't know, like, if is he that same All-Pro kind of guy? And if he is, then yeah, it's a definite upgrade. But I don't know if it's the huge addition that some people are making it out to be. I mean, no, the secondary definitely needed help, and he gives them that. But I'm not really ready to anoint them champions just yet.
I mean, I understand that. I just think it's a huge addition. I'm very big on it because, to me, you remember talking to me back in August, Dave. I was so stressing about the safeties back in August.
Yes, definitely. Yep.
So for me, it's like, wow, you actually have a bona fide safety back there for the first time since Malcolm Jenkins. Like, I don't look back there and like sweat myself to death worrying about whose coverage, because at least I have one guy, and apparently Blankenship is. By the way, did you know that Byard and Blankenship went to the same college?
Really? No
they
kidding.
both went to Middle Tennessee State.
Wow, that's bizarre.
And then that's going to be your starting safeties: Blankenship and Byard, 2 guys from Middle Tennessee State. I mean, what are the bingo odds on that?
Yeah, that's really strange. Wow, how about that? Huh? I'm not a big Blankenship guy either. I mean, I know a lot of people love him, but I mean, he's very energetic and brings a spark. But I'm not really sold on him yet either.
I'm better with Blankenship when he's not the number 1. If he's the number 2 safety,
yes, I'm with you there.
Then he can be the Energizer Bunny all he wants. Like, do your thing. But like when you were relying on Reed Blankenship as your number 1 guy, that made me nervous, Dave. And now he doesn't be the number 1 guy, so I'm okay with it.
Okay. Yep. I got you. As number 2, he's not bad. Yep. I'll agree with you there.
Now, listen, I do believe you're right. I'm not crowning the Eagles anything yet, but I am saying.
No, I know you're not. Some people were, but I know you're not.
Yeah, that was Chris Canty on the morning show for ESPN Radio. That's who you're talking about.
Oh, okay.
I mean, look, the 49ers are banged up right now, but when the 49ers are healthy and the Eagles are healthy, they're both great teams.
Mm-hmm.
I think the Lions loss to the Ravens will be an interesting litmus test to see how they rebound from that.
Yep.
And the Cowboys are still lurking in the weeds, but they'll find a way to choke as well. So
yeah, it's going to be an interesting season coming forward. The Eagles still have some challenges in front of them. They handled the one against Miami with a little help from the Zebras, but that's neither here nor there. That's a conversation for another day. But they had 0 penalties, really 0.
Yeah.
And
look, it's like what Chris Long said. Chris Long went on a rant on his podcast where he said, he can go through every game and find penalties that weren't called or should have been called. He said, because basically there are people online, Dave, who were saying that the referees were favoring the Eagles by not giving them any penalties.
Well, they got called for 2, but they were offset, right? I think.
Well, they were
Jaden Davis did that flop
right, but they declined it. They declined it because it didn't benefit them. It didn't help them in the yardage on the down.
Oh, is that what it was? Okay, I got you. And then I think there was another one that offset.
There was another one, yeah.
The push off sides or something. I think it was, and then
Well, it was the offsides, but they declined that because then they got 4th down and a punt out of it. So,
right. Well, it just seemed a little odd. I mean, that rough and passer was complete BS, and they don't get that penalty. They got a punt. They don't score their second touchdown. That face mask, a non-call on the Eagles defense. That would have extended a drive for the Dolphins. I'm not saying the Eagles wouldn't have won anyway, but it just seemed a little bizarre to me. I don't know.
Well,
I hate to bring this conspiracy theories into it, but it just seemed really weird to me that they had no penalties.
Listen, I just think it gets back
7th team since 1970 or something. I don't know.
Yeah,
something bizarre.
Look, it gets back to the officiating in the NFL is not very good. It's just not.
Right.
In professional sports, Dave, officiating is worse than it's ever been. You would think in a world with instant replay and a million resources, like for example, why do we need a chain to measure the first down? Why don't we do what soccer does and just put a laser inside of the ball so you always know when you cross the first down line?
That's a good idea.
It's like we have all these resources, but we don't use them. I don't get it.
You, right?
Oh, I mean, I'm available,
for the right price. I got you.
Roger Goodell, call me. You can hire me as a consultant. I'll cost the NFL less than Roger Goodell does. That's for sure.
Oh yeah.
I mean, that guy's getting paid $50 million. I don't need to get paid $50 million to stand around and look pretty in a suit.
Right. You'll do it for 20, right?
20. I'll do it for 2.
You and me both.
Yeah, I could dig myself out of a lot of debt with $2 million. Okay.
There you go. Yep.
He's Dave Weinberg at Dave Weinberg 19 extra point columns over at 97.3 ESPN.com. The latest column is about how Lower Cape May Regional got royally screwed out of the postseason by the NJSIAA. Learn more about why they got the short end of the stick after going 7-1 in high school football this season. Go read Dave's column. Dave, appreciate you jumping on today.
Well, thanks, Josh. I appreciate it as always. I'll talk to you next week.
Absolutely. Dave Weinberg each week for Weinberg Wednesdays here on Game Night on 97.3 ESPN. All right, back to the text board next. 609-403-0973. I'm Josh Hennig. This is Game Night on 97.3 ESPN.
It's Sixers basketball tomorrow night on 97.3 ESPN with the voice of the 76ers, Tom McGinnis, calling all the exciting play-by-play action.
3-point shot, Embiid dribbles, fires from out front. It's good. He made it. The Sixers take the lead.
The Sixers are in Milwaukee to face the Bucks tomorrow night. Coverage begins at 7:30. Philadelphia 76ers basketball on your radio home of the Sixers in South Jersey. 97.3 ESPN.
Hi, I'm Dr. Samar Brochet, owner of NutriaMed, a one-of-a-kind community now open in Egg Harbor Township with a mind-body studio, healthy cooking classes, nutritionist, and lifestyle medicine. Visit NutriaMed.com. Live your best life with NutriaMed.
Good evening, and welcome to your nightmare.
You thought you were safe and sound until you looked out the window and saw it in the driveway.
The creature that's been draining you dry for years. An old friend that had turned into a gas-guzzling monster. It was your old car just sitting there laughing.
AJ the Trade Man has got you covered.
Oh, yeah, it's on at Matt Blatt Nissan.
Even if you owe thousands more than your trade's worth, Matt Blatt Nissan wants to get you into a new Nissan with 0 down, 0 payments for 90 days, and 0% financing on every new Nissan in stock. Backed by Matt Blatt's 4-day love it or leave it return policy. Have a job clearing $350 per week? You're virtually approved. Only at MattBlattNissan.com. On approved Tier 1 credit through DBAC. Negative equity will be refinanced into new vehicle plus tax tag at $5 to $89 Offers can't be combined. 0% for 36 months. Call 877-289-6670 or go to MattBlattNissan.com for complete details. Offer ends 11/5/2023. It's on at Matt Blatt Nissan on the Black Horse Pike, Egg Harbor Township.
Hey, you. The one on the couch who just told your friend you can't go out because you're busy? Ready to get real about your psoriasis? When your current treatments don't do enough to help control the inflammation beneath the skin, causing plaques and pain, stressing and scratching, it's time to stop hiding and get real with your dermatologist so they can help you get clear. Get real clear about psoriasis at letsgetrealclear.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
At Bet365, we don't do ordinary. We believe that every sport should be epic. Every basket, every game, every point, every play. From the moments that are legendary to the ones that fly under the radar. Whether it's a game-winning goal in the final seconds of overtime or a shot on goal in the first period. Whatever the sport, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. 21 plus only, must be present in New Jersey. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
What's for dinner? Burgers?
After last week, no thanks.
Avoiding foods due to fear of diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose, oily stools? It may not be just stomach issues. It could be EPI, or exocrine pancreatic insufficiency. EPI can cause uncomfortable symptoms because it's a condition where the pancreas doesn't release enough digestive enzymes to break down food. But EPI can be managed. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and talk to your doctor about your symptoms. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
O'Reilly! It's See Better, Drive Safer month at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Replace your worn-out wiper blades and get up to a $20 O'Reilly gift card after rebate when you purchase a pair of select wiper blades. See store for details. Our professional parts people will even install your new wiper blades for free. Stop by your O'Reilly Auto Parts store or O'ReillyAuto.com.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Jim Gaffigan here with some more Straight Talk. Now you can get a Walmart Plus membership, plus not pay for it, because it's included with Straight Talk wireless plans. You get free delivery with Walmart Plus a Paramount Plus subscription included. Plus, you pay less for gas. That's a lot of pluses.
Only Straight Talk gives you unlimited 5G data and Walmart Plus included on select plans for free.
Straight Talk Wireless, available at Walmart.
Requires service on Gold or Platinum Unlimited. One offer per eligible account. Paramount Plus Essential Plan only. Separate registration required. Additional terms apply.
Hey, it's number 59, Seth joining. Birds football. Best time of the year. Bet Parks is the official casino and sportsbook app I recommend. Join me and download the Bet Parks app right now. When you open the Bet Parks app, you're in the zone. Winning is always a rush, but the money is in the moment. The anticipation of another face card, the thrill of an extra spin, and the joy of a jackpot. It's all your favorite games at your fingertips. Get up to $1,000 casino bonus back if you're down in the first 24 hours. You play for fun. You love to win. You bet. Bet Parks.
Must be 21 in Indiana, New Jersey, Ohio, Maryland. Gambling problem. 1-800-GAMBLER.
The Excite Center at Parks Casino, the region's hottest live entertainment venue. Check out your favorite concerts, comedy, boxing, MMA, all at the #1 casino in Pennsylvania. Don't miss the mind-blowing magic and illusions of the one and only Michael Carbonaro on Friday, December 15th. Tickets on sale now at parkscasino.com. Parks Casino, this is how you win.
This is Parks, Pennsylvania's #1 casino experience. This is how you win.
Must be 21. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Hey, Total Wine & More has all your Halloween favorites at the totally lowest prices.
Economical.
Find what you love and love what you find. Only at Total Wine & More.
Drink responsibly, B21.
Do you hear that? That's the sound of holiday joy at the Home Depot, where you can find everything you need to get ready for the holiday season, like all new festive outdoor decor. Spread more joy this season with bigger, bolder, and brighter inflatables from the Home Depot, like our exclusive new 8-foot animated Santa and reindeer inflatable for just $149. Available in-store and online. Get holiday ready right now at the Home Depot. How doers get more done.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same, but is 95% cheaper, and you can get it online? Go to hims.com/joy. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, and the process is 100% online. To start your free online visit, go to hims.com/joy. That's HIMS.com/JOY.
Discover, this is Danny.
Hi, it's Jen Coolidge. I just want to thank you for making me feel so special. I earned cash back on debit for my dinner party groceries.
That's great. But with Discover Cashback Debit, we give everyone cash back on everyday purchases. Anything else I can help you with?
Are you hungry? Because everyone left after the asparagus sorbet.
Introducing Discover Cashback Debit, a checking account with cash back. It pays to Discover. Eligibility and terms at discover.com/cashback debit. Discover Bank, member FDIC.
Hey, Josh Hennick here to tell you about how Jenkins Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning has helped your favorite football team. Did you know that over 40 years ago, John Jenkins Sr. invented the heated seat that football players sit on today? Yes, the Jenkins family created a way for football players to weather the extreme cold. Now imagine what Jenkins could do for your home. Call Jenkins for plumbing, drain cleaning, and leak repairs, gas furnace boiler, and hot water heater replacements. Call Jenkins today at 609-641-6262, online at jenkinsandsons.com.
Now, more Game Night with Josh Hennick on 97.3 ESPN and the free mobile app.
All right, let's get to your messages before we get out of here this hour. 609-403-0973. First, let's get to some of the Eagles stuff here. Oh my goodness, the text board just blew up during that break. Justin in Galloway says, I am more trustful and excited about the Eagles defense now. That was my main concern, our secondary. The fact that we have brought in Kevin Byard makes me at much at ease. I'm with you, Justin. I don't agree that Byard, I don't understand this idea that Byard, he's not the player he used to be. Well, nobody's what they used to be. I mean, I can't jump as high at my age than when I did 20 years ago. I mean, come on. Look, I think Byard's a great upgrade. I really do. Diamondback Derek chimes in. I'm going to get him in one more time. Okay. He says the only guy that really hurt the Diamondbacks was Bohm. He was ridiculous in the field on defense, and he actually was consistent at the plate most of the time. Him and Marsh really affected the Diamondbacks pitching. Diamondbacks really weren't afraid of anybody else. And Derek, that's a problem. When you're not afraid of a future Hall of Famer and other guys in the Phillies lineup, that's a huge problem. Dan EHC says the Flyers are my favorite team in Philly. No expectations. They don't tease me like the Eagles, Phillies, and Sixers. Flyers almost won last night. They're a fun team to watch. I'll give them that. I'll give you that. We got Flyers games coming up here on 97.3 ESPN, Dan. We got Sixers tomorrow night at 7:30. Flyers on Saturday at 1. So there you go. We got you covered on the Flyers stuff. Let's see here. Jeff in Ocean says, are there any pitchers in the farm system? Yeah, Griff McGarry, Mick Abel. There are two guys down there who are starting pitchers. I don't know what the timetable is literally for them to come up, though. Part of the problem is that, to me, McGarry and Mick Abel were not ready to come up this year. So there's no guarantee that even if they come up next year, they're going to be what you need to win a championship. We'll have to wait and see with that. George in Summers Point chimes in and says, hey, Josh, I agree with you. The Diamondbacks pitchers are not the reason the Phillies bats failed the last two games. Do you have any theories about why the Phillies bats failed over the past two games? George in Summers Point. George, my theory is either they were overthinking, they were trying too hard, or something was grossly wrong with the food they were eating. I don't know. I mean, it's got to me, it's psychological. Okay. There's no reason why people who are that talented are completely ineffective in a game like that. James chimes in on the DM and says, hey, Josh, do you see the Eagles making another move for a slot corner or backup safety? If they do, it'd probably be in free agency, James. Kevon Wallace just signed with the Titans, so he's not available to come back to Philadelphia. I don't even know who I would say it'd be a much smaller move. A guy's not a big name. I can see them maybe getting one more player. All right, it's almost the end of the show, so it's time for you to text in at 609-403-0973. I gave you the keyword about 50 minutes ago. Text in the keyword, your name, where you're from, and you are the final qualifiers for the Eagles 49ers Club Box Seat ticket giveaway, along with the ultimate Eagles tailgate. Thanks to Philly Sports Trips, you could be the winner of both. But you got to text in the keyword, your name, and where you're from, to 609-403-0973. I'm Josh Hennig. This is Game Night. No Phillies, Eagles, Sixers, or Flyers tonight. I'm going to enjoy a night to decompress. I hope you do too.
This is South Jersey's radio home for Philadelphia Eagles football with the legendary voice of the Eagles, Merrill Reese and Mike Quick. Philadelphia Eagles football on 97.3 ESPN is brought to you by
Ocean Casino. Get your game on at the Gallery Bar Booking Games in Ocean Casino this football season. For more information, visit theoceanac.com. GMS Law. Make the right call with 4 convenient locations to serve you and at GMSlaw.com. Boardwalk Honda. Shop our lineup of new pre-owned and certified pre-owned Hondas online at BoardwalkHonda.com. The Fan Zone at Sun Valley Pools, 29 West Sherman Avenue in Vineland. Unique fan gear and gifts for every fan of every team. Cape Regional Hospital, your healthcare partner for a healthier life in Cape May County. Jersey Shore Federal Credit Union. Choose better banking. And South Jersey Gas.
97.3 ESPN FM is your official home in South Jersey for Eagles football. 97.3 ESPN FM.
This is the radio home for Philadelphia Eagles football. It's Week 8, and the Eagles are down in D.C. this Sunday against their NFC East rivals, the Washington Commanders.
Back goes Howell. He pumps. He looks. They've got him! They've got him!
Eagles radio network coverage begins at noon. Merrill and Mike call all the action starting at 1 p.m. This is where the Philadelphia Eagles play. 97.3 ESPN. South Jersey's official Eagles station. Brought to you by
Jenkins Plumbing and Heating at jenkinsandsons.com. Piccalilli Inn. Nobody beats the Piccalilli, Route 206 in Chemung. Frank Vincent Windows, Roofing, Siding, and Doors make your home look new again. BMW of Atlantic City. Ocean Casino. Get your game on at the Gallery Bar Booking Games in Ocean Casino this football season. And First Bank of Sea Isle.
97.3 ESPN FM is your official home in South Jersey for Eagles football.